everybody? Welcome back to the show. I got the boss lady, the one and only fight to win boss, mother effing boss. That's all I can say. Missy, thank you for being on the show. Thank you for getting me up so early. How you been? How's it going? How's quarantine treating you? Bet it's great, huh?
It's been treating me pretty good. Yeah. I've been staying out here in Denver. I've been here for 2 months while everything's on lockdown, trying to come up with plans to get the business going again. But I've been out here with Seth at Seth's house, and we got a house full of grapplers. We got mats, so we've been training every day. So it's been great.
Oh, that's good. I bet it's been a good break from being on the road all the time.
It actually has, we only have a few days left in quarantine before we start going back on the road again.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels kind of weird. It's like leaving summer camp or something. It's weird.
But
yeah, I'm heading back to Texas on Tuesday, and then on Thursday I head to Denver for our first show under the new rules.
Yeah, so I was reading up on that. There's a Jiu Jitsu Times put out a link yesterday talking about you guys coming back on the road, and just a quick plug, you guys are going to be in Dallas May 15th and 16th, so you're doing 2-day shows now, huh?
Yes, and the reason for that is because we have half capacity for the amount of matches that we have, so we're going to just split it into 2 days. We're going to do that every weekend until the situation improves, and then we just have to kind of play it by a lot of it by ear. We have before all of this happened, we had quite a bit of money out on travel and hotels and deposits, and a lot of this money is money that we can't get back, so we have to try to make plans to recuperate our money in the cities that we've lost it in or that are holding it. We haven't exactly lost it, but we have to go there and try to recuperate it and make it to where we're not losing money and we're following the rules of the quarantine situation and everything.
Right. So just a quick, advice for everybody if they want to support Fight to Win, if they want to support the BJJ world, right now at this moment, what is the best way for them to do it?
They can check us out on Flow Grappling. Everybody that has an account, that has an account, they can log in. Anybody that doesn't, to go ahead and grab one, and we're gonna do our very best to improve the content as we go, and we're gonna try to make it as great as possible. UFC had their first event last night, and it's going to be a similar type situation until the situation changes, but hopefully it improves and we can just make it better faster.
Right. And I think I watched the fights last night. Did you watch them? Pretty sure you did, huh?
Yeah, they were great.
Yeah, exactly. So I was reading that you guys are thinking about putting music in the background as the show's going on, but I gotta tell you, I enjoyed the fights last night. Being able to hear everything, like every blow was just even more brutal, and hearing the coaches and everything.
It's very, very similar to the Ultimate Fighter format, where it's just a closed room and there's a limited amount of people, and you can pretty much hear everything that's going on. I like that too. We're not committed to any ideas. Seth is kind of tossing a lot of things around just to kind of make sure that everybody has the best time possible, and we make it as normal as possible, as close to what we used to do before this happened as possible.
Right. All right. Well, you guys heard it. May 15th and 16th, Dallas. Then they're back for your Fight to Win 140 in Dallas too, the 22nd and 23rd of May as well. And then the dates keep going on. You can check it out at fighttowin.com, correct?
F2WBJJ.com.
Got it. All right. So let's take it back a little bit for those that don't know you or have been living under a rock, especially for the listeners, because obviously this is a jiu-jitsu podcast. So
yes,
Fight to Win. Mm-hmm. How did it start? Why did it start?
Well, Seth was running a Fight to Win MMA promotion, he was doing jiu-jitsu tournaments all over. I was working with the World Grappling Circuit, and our companies merged, and we started working together back in 2008. I had a corporate job, so I was in the automotive industry for many years, and I worked for Seth and my friend Brett on the side. And I moved away, and then I moved back, and then my position in Fight to Win just started growing, and I couldn't just keep a job anymore. I had to commit to Fight to Win.
And when did you start training jiu-jitsu?
2013.
What got you the fights?
I started working at a gym and at one of my friend's gym, and I just started doing jiu-jitsu there, and I started dating one of the coaches, and we ended up being together for a very long time, and I just ended up doing jiu-jitsu with him for a long time. And we broke up a while back, and I just, was already involved in Fight to Win for many years prior. But before jiu-jitsu, I did Muay Thai for a little while, and that's how I met Brett, who I started working for World Grappling Circuit, and then I eventually met Seth when our companies merged.
Awesome. So, any chances of us seeing you on the mats of Fight to Win? As a
yeah, possibly once everything gets rolling back again. I have a really bad injury that I'm taking care of right now. But I've been doing good. I'm starting to feel better, and it's very possible next maybe the late part of the year I might do it. Yeah, just depending on how my back situation turns out. But
shit, boss lady,
yeah,
about to step on there.
Yeah, well, it's a goal for one of the shows for everybody on the crew to be on, on the stage. Everybody to have a match. Everybody on our team that does production and that does jiu-jitsu, that's kind of the goal.
And you guys aren't just doing jiu-jitsu anymore, huh? You added judo to the mix, huh?
Right. Yeah, that's been doing really, really awesome. The judo people have been great.
So I had off air, I had mentioned to you that I haven't been in the States for very long again. Like I had left for quite a few years, but coming back to the States, I think it was within like a week or two. And I think it's within a week. I started training at my home gym now. And that very first weekend, they were like, "What are you doing this weekend?" I was like, "Nothing. Like, I'm literally doing shit. I just got here and I don't know anybody again." And they were like, "Oh, there's some Fight to Win fight." And I was like, "Just shut up." And they're like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Dude, like, I've been dying to get to one of these, like, for a while." They're like, "Yeah, go ahead." And then I was like, "Well, who's on there? Like, anybody from the gym?" They're like, "Yeah, coach." So that was my first Fight to Win, was watching my coach Alan Shabaro doing a judo match there.
Oh my God, that was such a great match. It was Alan Shabaro they're very big dudes, and there was so many Oh yeah, that was such a great match.
I felt like that stage was too small. I was like, dang, how are they gonna keep these two guys on there?
Yeah, they're big dudes.
But yeah, man,
that was a super great match. That's so, like that of all the judo matches that we have have had, that's one of my faves.
Yeah, my coach, I mean, he loves jiu-jitsu, obviously, but he's huge on judo. So I know when we talked about it afterwards, he's like, I enjoyed it. He's like, I had a lot of fun doing judo on there.
Yeah, that was great.
And for me, like,
that's the venue that we're going to be at, that Gillies. For the next 2 weekends.
Are all three, all two Dallas events going to be there? 139,
yeah.
140?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. Sweet. All right. That's badass. So, yeah. I mean, I love judo too. I've never like practiced it as long as I've done jiu-jitsu, but all my takedowns either come from wrestling or judo. And watching that out there, I was like, this is fucking badass. Like, I didn't even know you guys were doing judo. So,
yeah,
it was a badass
amazing
event.
Huh?
Yeah, it was a badass event. Like, definitely once all this gets back to normal and people, you guys are able to have an audience again, I'd highly suggest people to go to a live event, because and I've been to UFC events, like live UFC events, and I gotta tell you, I enjoyed Fight to Win a lot more than I did a UFC event.
it's just such a different feel, because you can go to you can go to a UFC or any type of MMA event, and it's not very likely that everybody in the crowd trains MMA. You go to Fight to Win, everybody in that room trains jiu-jitsu. Everybody loves jiu-jitsu. Everybody's a jiu-jitsu nerd. Somebody was saved by jiu-jitsu. Everybody in that room has a connection somehow. And when they're watching the matches, they know exactly how everything up there feels. They might not be as good at it as the people that are on the stage, but they know what they know, and they feel connected because those are the teammates that they helped get up there.
Right. Yep.
It's just
Exactly.
different. It's a very, very, it's way more intimate.
Yep. Exactly. That's how it felt. I mean, even when you have like your general admission tickets, you're still so close to the stage. You can see everything like so
Right.
nice. And man, the
Yep.
level of jiu-jitsu you guys are bringing is very elite, And coming from the competitor, I've always been a competitor. I love to compete. I don't see myself doing jiu-jitsu without competitions on site. But being like seeing that, I was telling you that the tournaments that I was exposed to before moving overseas, it was I was doing Europa like every year.
Right.
And I mean I do remember thinking like, man, like it's getting a little stale out here because all the girls that I was competing every year with were the same. We were the same ones moving up, doing every year the same
Right.
thing. But
Right.
also moving overseas, I got to do smaller tournaments, which were good too. But the level is
Hmm.
just not the same.
Right.
Like as far as having like a broad, especially like for me, like my weight class and everything. But anyway, um, yeah, getting to see Fight to Win and how you guys are doing the promotions and the level of athletes you're bringing out there, I was like, forget about fucking like worlds, man. Forget
Hmm.
about this is where you want to be. Like this is the place to be.
It's
Um,
fun. Yeah, it's a party.
that's how I saw it. I did one IBJJF tournament Europeans, and then I was like,
Hmm.
yeah, fuck this. Like I need to find something better down the road. I need to find something better, and there is. Anyway, so there is something better. However, you have to be at that level,
Right.
right? So,
And the thing about it is, since we've started, I've had a lot of people that I've met that have come up to me at white belt and said a thing or two, and then they come up to me at purple belt when they're on the stage and they say, "Do you remember me? I told you this was my goal." And I said, "Well, I don't remember you, but I'm glad that you told me that." Like it's, a lot of people set goals to be on the stage, and even if they, when they have teammates that do, it changes their life. It changes everything that they do. It changes the way that they train. It changes everybody, not just the competitor. It changes the whole team.
right, exactly. So, let me ask. So, you have to be a purple belt to apply, correct?
For the most part, yeah. As an adult, we do belts that we do are mostly teams.
Okay. And so there's an application you have to go through. And obviously
Correct.
you're
Hmm.
checking off certain boxes. Like right off the bat everybody has to kind of fit certain boxes, correct? But
Uh-huh.
what is there something in particular when you're looking at these applications that you're like, yeah, this guy needs to be on there. Once they all check in, let's say you have 10 people that check all your boxes, but you can only get, 5. Um,
Hmm.
how many, or like, sorry, what in
Like,
particular
what's
are
the
you looking
process we
for?
use to pick people?
Well, you
Um,
personally, what are you looking for when you're thinking about, I'm going to put somebody on my stage and I want them to come and perform? And you look at these people and
right.
they, on paper, they all look equal. But how do you distinguish somebody that's going to put on a good show and that's going to be a good competitor to have on the stage? Because it's a big spotlight.
Well, it really is. For me and Seth, we've been in this for a long, long time, and a lot of these people have grown up with us, watching them. Mostly in Texas and Colorado in this area. So when we go outside of the people that we don't immediately know. We just kind of consider, what level they're at, who they fought before, where they fought before, and I go through every single application. I look at every single one of them. I read them all. I organize them. Once I set them up, Seth does the ultimate matchmaking, but I basically just group people with their same level, and Seth does the picking. A lot of it has to do with their ability to sell tickets and with how much, traffic they can generate.
Got it. Okay. So here's my other question. How many applications do you get, let's say,
my God.
per week or per month? Because I bet you get a shit ton
Oh,
too.
it's a lot. It's hundreds and hundreds per show. So, now that you say it like that, I can't even imagine how many applications I've looked at over the last 5 years. It's maybe millions. I have no idea. It's a lot. But I would average at about 300 to 400 per show.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking paperwork.
Yeah.
So
it is.
Does it ever get like, well, I know you personally always talk about how you find like the douchebags out there, or they try to find you.
I am a magnet for them.
I mean, it comes with the territory, no? You're the boss
For
lady,
sure.
so if you accept them, you're the best. If you deny them, you're the worst.
I gotta help them out, man.
So how many times? Well, I'm not even gonna ask that because I bet it's been a shit ton. But, how do you find them? Like on the applications, can you tell right off the bat?
Yeah, the funniest ones are the blue belts that say they're under rank. They put blue belt
Almost.
no-gi expert. Blue belt no-gi expert is the most ridiculous thing that I have to read every time I look at applications. Like, what does that even mean?
Hey, I gotta tell you,
You're blue belt, but you're expert in no-gi?
I'm almost. Yeah. My coach told me I'm almost a purple belt, so I'm almost there.
Yeah, I'm pretty much. The cute ones are like the 4-stripe white belts that say I'm a 4-stripe white belt, so I know that they're almost a blue belt, but
doesn't make a difference though. Doesn't make a difference.
It doesn't. White and blue are beginner belts, just the way it is.
Right. So, not too long ago, you posted, you saying that you were going to take the heavier weight. If you had two weights, you were going to choose the quarantine weight over the previous weight.
Yeah.
And I know you love tortillas, or tortillas.
I do.
Let me ask you, how would your application read now? Which weight do you take?
I actually lost a lot of weight here in quarantine because I'm in a house full of grapplers, and all we do is train and eat meat, and that's it.
So and that's what I was gonna say. I mean, yours is probably looking a lot better than pre-quarantine because you haven't been traveling. You've been training a shit ton.
Exact. Yeah. That's very true because when you travel like every weekend, sometimes you have to eat venue food, and it's so disgusting that you just get sick of eating. And here and you don't sleep very much. Here in quarantine, I've gotten a lot of sleep, gotten a lot of training, and I don't know, it's just been like summer camp with the crew.
Who would be your now that you've seen your team train, right? Nonstop during this quarantine, who would be your apocalypse team? Like, if you could pick anybody besides those that are in your house right now, but who would be your apocalypse team?
Who would I add to my apocalypse? Definitely my old coach, Missy Estrada. He's one of my greatest friends, but he has some really good zombie apocalypse plans. He's a genius.
Oh, I like those. I love a good conspiracy theory. But I love most those that I believe all conspiracy theories. Those that come to me and they're like, how can you believe that crazy shit? I was like, how can you believe I believe that crazy shit? Think about
Yeah,
it.
look into it.
What does that tell you about your choice of friend, sir or ma'am, whoever decides to say that? Now you're about to be at uh, Fight to Win 139. So
Uh,
that's almost like a purple belt, right? Almost a purple belt, but that's almost 140 events total. Um,
Actually, we've done a few more under different banners because we do produce for other shows. So we've done two subversives, we've done a submit cancer, and we did ADCC as well. So we've done 145 events so far.
so almost 150.
Yeah, yeah.
um, have there been any shows that like really stand out for you, or specific fights that really stand out to you?
Well, the last Hawaii show was really incredible. It was hard because a lot of like last year was really hard for myself and Seth because the business is running the business is tough as it is. Traveling is very tough. We've been doing it for years. Last year was kind of a little bit of a burnout year for us. And we did still put out over $1 million, but we both feel like we could have done way better if we would have been a little bit more disciplined about a lot of things that we did. So coming into this year, we were really expecting to hit it hard, going, full speed ahead. But all this stuff with the coronavirus that ended up happening, so that it just kind of changed everything, and I think it gave us a little bit of the break that we needed, that in order to be able to do better than we did last year, physically and mentally.
Right. How many weeks of the year are you on the road?
42.
And you're all over the state.
No,
I
I'm
mean, all
sorry,
over,
45.
and you're all over the
Yeah,
country,
45. Yes, ma'am.
including Hawaii.
Yes.
Any, um,
We did Hawaii twice last year.
I saw one of the events out here. I mean, I wasn't at the event. I just saw it on Flow Grapple, but
It was great.
um, I know right now it's a little bit hard with everything that's going on, but from the business point, any plans on going overseas?
Yes, 100%.
Fucking
Um,
awesome.
yeah. Our plan is to make this as big as possible eventually. We want to spread it to areas that we can help grow jiu-jitsu at. It's it's pretty evident that the level of jiu-jitsu everywhere that we've gone over the years has grown as we've come back every time. Everybody keeps getting better and better and better, and they bring, there's new people every time that we come that are just, standouts. So it's growing, and that's what we want for other parts of the world that don't exactly have that right now.
Tell you
We'll get
what,
there.
coming from there, it's I know many people would appreciate, like a lot of people out there are already watching the production, but
Hmm.
everybody's, like I said, even for myself, we're always looking for a better place to compete, especially out there. So,
Right.
and the level of skills that some of those guys out there have is
Right.
beyond me. Like, I mean, I showed up there with my blue belt, and I was getting my ass handed to me by white belts for the first couple of months, and I was like, you get complacent
Dang.
after a while, but um,
Hmm.
I mean, I fucking loved it because it just made me realize, like, all right, you've been too complacent with your game, like you need to step it up. Um, so like it made me push myself, and then realizing that, I was like, damn, that just tells you the level of people that they have out here. Like some of those Europeans are fucking beasts. I'm telling you, like
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I rode with white belts that made me feel like a shitty. I was a blue belt, but they made me feel like a shitty white belt too. I was rolling with blue belts. I was like, there's no way I should be getting a purple belt anytime soon if I can't hang in with these guys,
Yeah.
and um, especially those those like ranks between, I want to say between blue and maybe brown, but for sure like blue and
Mm-hmm.
purple. Like there's a lot of dudes out there that, I mean girls too, but specifically the guy. I mean we roll with guys anyway, but they were like just killing it. So I know you guys
Mm-hmm.
going out there to Europe would be like badass. And even in Asia, when I was in Asia, some of those, well, they have really good discipline too, but that's a whole other subject. Anyway, um,
Yeah, we were strategizing a plan last year to do Hawaii, Japan, China.
hmm
But it, the time the time we needed in order to plan that route, we just didn't have the amount of time that we needed to do all the detail work involved. So hopefully in the future we'll try to focus on how to make that work again.
got it. So when I was telling you about these plans, I mean these belts, something that I noticed watching jiu-jitsu, because I've kind of gone more into, after Fight to Win, I started watching a
Hmm.
lot more tournaments just in general. Whatever's out in Flow Grapple, I was watching them. Is
Yeah.
there, now I have my favorite like belt ranks to watch during competition. Do you have
Hmm.
do you have a certain like certain belt ranks that you're like, man, these dudes always throw out. Doesn't matter who they are. This when they're in this belt rank, they always throw out.
Um, Not for me. I don't really care about the belt rank. I just care about people not being boring. If somebody that's out there to go like put on a show, I just love that. Uh, there's some, people that you always hear their name and you instantly know it's going to be a good match where they win or lose. I love those people. I'll always work with those people that just, want to put on a great show and always, try to throw out their best shit. Seth always says that during the weigh-ins: do your best stuff, do everything, enjoy the moment. And I like the people, that are really, really like, there's a showmanship involved in some of the stuff that you do on the stage, and people that embrace that and are really good at that. Those are my favorite people, like kind of like AJ Agazarm.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know a lot of the jiu-jitsu actual names, but
Hmm.
talking about some like a little Conor McGregor type of showmanship, huh?
Right. Yeah, exact.
Be a little loud.
And
Yeah.
sometimes not even that. Sometimes not even that. There's some pretty dope silent assassins out there, like Grace, from 10th Planet. She's a killer and she doesn't say much. She just goes out there and she works. I just like people that are unique, is what I guess I could say.
How do you feel seeing women on that stage putting on
I feel
badass shows?
I feel pretty proud of them. A lot of times when these girls are on the stage, a lot of them are girls that I already look up to. So it's really, really cool being able to work with some of the biggest and best of the, in the sport. Some people have, come back out of competition just to be on the stage, which is really cool too. It's just, sometimes I have to pinch myself because I'm surrounded by like all these BJJ heroes, and, you know, getting to see all this high level jujitsu. It's really just, it's great. It's like, it's the best thing I've ever done.
I'll tell you what. After watching my coach perform, and he
Hmm.
wasn't, he wasn't even my coach at the time yet. I was still looking
Hmm.
for a black belt, but I ended up staying with him. But the my next favorite thing on Fight to Win was watching Gabby Garcia and Hillary Van Ornum um, on that
That
stage.
in Seattle, it was
Yeah,
so great. That was so fun. Yeah.
I kept. I mean, I have a close relationship with Hillary. She got helped me get through
She's
some.
so
Say that.
personal shit.
Yeah. She helped me get through some personal shit. When I was living in Germany, we actually met through some jiu-jitsu camps, and yeah, she like really helped me out, trained with me while we were out there. This is when I was getting ready for European, so um, yeah, she's a great mentor to me. Like I really like her, and I remember when the link went
Yeah,
out,
she's great.
and I was like, holy shit, like you're gonna be. I was like, Gabby. She's like, yep, and I was like, just. I
Nice.
was like, I don't even need to watch the fight. I'm happy that you guys are getting an opportunity to be on that stage, representing all the all the big girls out there, and not just that, just the skill set that I mean, like Gabby having that skill set
For
too.
sure.
It's just a fucking monster on the mats.
Yeah, she's got a lot of charisma too, and Hillary's so great. She's such a sweetheart. I love her. She's she's wonderful to me. Her and her students, they were so great to me when we were out in Seattle. It was a lot of fun. Or out, where is she, in Seattle or Portland?
She's in Portland.
Portland. It was
Yeah.
Portland.
She actually had a jiu-jitsu camp for a unicorn jiu-jitsu camp that I flew out to as well.
Nice.
And it was all women. It was an all women camp, and coming from doing camps where it's just everybody, like all ages, all belts, however you identify yourself, fucking aliens or whatever, or in her case a unicorn, but I was a little like just girls, like sometimes you need a little. Don't get me wrong, obviously I love women, but sometimes you need a little testosterone to even out the playing field. But man, being out there in those camps, like she really knows how to like bring women together and still keep a competitive edge on it, but like really have that was awesome. And it was awesome for you guys to give women a stage to compete, at the same level as men are,
Yeah, and at the belt levels, all the girls that are like blue belts and purple belts and brown belts, all that pay is equal, and then anything above that is based on the skill level. At black belt, it's based on skill level.
See, and that's another thing why people need to show up and pay their Flow Grapple and watch the Fight to Wins on May 15th and 16th, and then May 22nd and 23rd. Because, sure, there's a lot of tournaments out there, but when you talk about big stages, I haven't seen anybody give. And I keep saying this over and over because, I'm in this position right now where I see big girls not being represented enough out there,
Right. Mm-hmm. And there's a very, very hard split in the divisions, once you get to the bigger divisions, we need more of the bigger girls to come out and compete so the divisions can be split for them, because there's a little bit of a unfair gap,
Right.
I think there needs to be more divisions for the female, like an IBJJF is what I mean, like from the weight class, and then once all of that gets bigger, then ADCC divisions can get bigger eventually. You know what I mean?
Right. But I mean, I'll tell you what, being on the heavier side of that weight bracket, I do like that advantage because they're a little faster. They're a little faster, and I like to hold them down just a little tighter.
Yeah. No, everybody has their things they like. Everybody has their preference, but I think it'll give people a little bit more of a confidence to compete when they don't have to, once they don't have to cut weight so hard and get sick. You know what I mean?
Right.
To get out of that big division.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I remember, like I was telling you, pre-2015, I was good. I mean, I was still competing in some of the heavier weight classes, but I was straight out of high school, straight out of wrestling, and I still had my fast little spark, and I was on that, I was on the other side of the table, being the lighter person, but I had my speed, and now I'm on the heavier side of the table, and I'm like, okay, well, I see where that advantage comes in, the speed and agility versus just being strong and heavy, but yeah, definitely you need to get more women out there, but it also starts with having promotions like you giving bigger women that stage to feel like, hey, I can go compete out there. Because I'll tell you what, many times I've competed.
Absolutely.
I've competed in many tournaments. Mm-hmm. I show up. Of course, I'm a big girl. Girls look at me and they completely drop out. And then it's kind of embarrassing, Like, I mean, that happened to me on my last tournament in Germany. Show up, Girls looked at me and they were like, nah, I don't want to compete. They completely dropped out of the tournament. And I was left to compete with the guys that were like over 100 kilos, like 250, 300-pound guys. So,
Yeah, that's whack.
um, had it been any other tournament, I would have not even competed against the guys either. But my students were there, and I couldn't, couldn't back down from any
Yeah.
challenge. So I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll do it. But
Nice.
and I kind of put it's kind of back and forth, right? Like you have to give an opportunity, and that's why I appreciated what you guys did with that specific fight card, because it showed like, hey, there's big girls out there you can compete against. You just got to show up and apply
For sure.
and be good.
Yeah, for sure.
So
And with that, there's been a few times where we've pulled girls out to compete that wouldn't normally have competed, and they become competitors, just by saying, hey, coach, do you have anybody that can compete with this girl? She really wants to compete. And then it ends up happening, that they have a match. And then the other girl that was not a competitor turns into a competitor. You know what I mean?
right, yeah. I think everybody needs to give it a little. Everybody needs to give it a little shot before you.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
turn. Again, I'm a competitor. I've always been a competitor. So to me, it's hard when I see somebody that doesn't compete, that just trains because they enjoy jiu-jitsu but doesn't compete. To me, that's like a whole other, like, I don't understand it. I don't know what it is to just have a hobby and that's it. I'm a competitor. I just like that feel.
Yeah, you just got different types of people in every gym. You got some people that are accountants, you got some people that are, teachers. It's just such a dynamic group of people, just diverse group of people that you just, everybody has different goals.
So
And we have a lot of people that work 40 hour a week jobs, or really really tough jobs, that get on the stage and compete too. So it's a little bit of everything.
right, yep. I mean, and that's a badass part about jiu-jitsu. When everybody has their gi on, you don't know who you're talking to. You can
Exactly.
be talking to a lawyer, you can be talking to a scientist, you can be talking to a janitor, you can be talking to the bum from next door. It can be
Yep.
anybody. I love that. I love that the mats equalize everybody and the gis neutralize everybody too.
100%. But hey, you know what? Sometimes you do know what they do for a living, and sometimes they deserve a little bit of mat justice for talking shit.
You're right. You're right. I give you that one. So I want to switch bases real quick and ask you about. So usually, and I like that you're very vocal on your social media and you let people know how it is, and you kind of let everybody know like, yo, it's this is not some big branch CEO that you never hear of putting up these shows. Like you guys are very up and personal with people. So
hmm
I love that about this company too. You guys are very up in front, personal, always keeping people updated. So with that also comes that you guys do a lot of the fucking work, huh? Putting up the
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah, we're very hands-on. Me and Seth do a lot of the planning and putting everything together, and then we have a crew of people. Then we come together and build everything with our own hands. It's a very small crew. We build everything, we put the show on, and then we break it apart and go to the next city. So, but this is the current situation is a little bit different, but that's kind of the regular routine. Yeah, we're very hands-on.
So on the Fight to Win documentary, you said that you always cry at the end of every show. Why is that?
Yeah, I do pretty much. Yeah, it just
Besides being tired.
people, that's part of it, because especially it's by that point, by the end of the show, I've been up for maybe 3, sometimes 4 days, just depending on how complicated the show was or whatever. So I'm basically really fucking tired. I'm standing there watching all these little kids and parents jump up and down and scream for their coach that's on stage. It's just a special moment. It really brings the whole team together. I think it's a bonding moment for everybody. And to know that you created those moments for all those people it's very special, because it's the work associated to it is very hard. And I don't think a lot of people understand what goes along with it. A lot of times people say, oh, you do so much, but they really don't know how much goes into it. So when I get to see all the special moments that happen, it really, it means a lot to me. And I just start to cry.
Yeah, I'm a crier myself. I cry when I'm watching a show, especially when it has anything to do with sports. I don't know why. Like I always,
Yeah.
or even I was literally last night I was watching some off-roading videos. I'm huge into Jeeps. I'm huge into cars. So as well.
Uh-huh.
So I was watching some off-roading videos and this dude broke his drive shaft and like they're talking about it and all that stuff, but I could hear his wife, like his wife's always like, "Yeah, go go," like when he's driving and everything, and I kind of like got
Mhm.
emotional. My wife's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I was like, "Because it's awesome, it's cute. Like the wife's just into the off roading as he is, like." And I think about it in the jiu-jitsu terms. I have a lot of
Yeah.
people who always ask me like, "How did you get your wife to start training jiu-jitsu?" And I tell them like, it was bound to happen. Like she saw me compete for the first 3 years of her marriage, and then eventually she was like, "All right, like you spend a lot of time doing this, I might as well start doing it too." And
Dope.
you know, when I do get to compete, especially on a big stage, and I win, like she's the only person I can ever hear on the bleachers. She's the only person I see on the bleachers because she's been there for me through everything.
Nice.
Even
That's dope.
now. So I was telling her, I was like, because it's the same feeling I get when I'm competing and all I see is
Mhm.
is you up there. I was like, so in a sense, it was kind of like the same thing I was
Oh.
seeing last night with the dude um tearing up his Jeep and the girl was still like, "Hell yeah, like you still got through it." Like, "Yeah, we broke the drive shaft." She's
Yeah.
like, "But you still got through it."
Yeah, for
So
sure.
so anyway, yeah, I'm definitely a crier too. But and it was kind of like it was nice to see you say that because I was like, hell yeah, a lot of promoters are out there, put on a fucking show, get my money, let's go, let's move on. There's no like emotional connection that they put towards it, and you can definitely see that you guys put a lot of heart and effort into every single show you do.
Oh, it means a lot to us because we're doing this for our kids and we're doing it for everybody else's kids too. We want them to have a place to compete when they grow up too.
So besides seeing the impact you make on people with the tournaments and the events, what else is your favorite part of the show?
Um, Weigh-ins is pretty fun. It's pretty hilarious. People do a lot of like really funny stuff for weigh-ins, and it's kind of a good time. And just getting to know everybody when we get to train at their gyms and everything, we get to know the people that are out actually there in the audience. Yeah, I really, really, truly feel like me and Seth pretty much know I know that we don't know everybody, but when I'm in that room, I feel like I know everybody that's sitting at every single table. I feel like any one of us could get up and go train together any day of the week. You know what I mean? It's that type of vibe. It's everybody's friends.
Talking about that, and we had mentioned earlier when you go to a UFC fight, not everybody that's there actually trains MMA, but everybody at Fight to Win does train jiu-jitsu, pretty much.
Pretty
So
much. Yeah.
have you, I know from going to UFC events, you always get those hotheads that have seen a UFC fight on YouTube and they're like, I can totally kick your ass. And I'm like, sure, go for it. Um, but so, you get a little bit more of that, like, I don't know, that douchebag feel out there. However, at Fight to Win, you know that somebody there trains jiu-jitsu. You know they train
Hmm.
jiu-jitsu, but you might not know how good they are. So do you think that kind of like calms people down not to want to start shit? Or have you guys had issues with people still getting a little hothead?
It's both. For the most part, everybody's cool. But like when you get into cities where there's some like real big rivalries, we've had a few problems, and or sometimes somebody gets super duper drunk or something here and there. It's not that often, but we take care of it pretty quick.
Gotta tell you, my first Fight to Win, I had a lot of fucking tequila. I remember leaving and I was like, I probably shouldn't be leaving by myself because Yeah, I'm a little too drunk here, but actually, the fucking Uber driver was like, when he saw where I was, cause we were in Dallas, and I had to go all the way to
Yeah.
Arlington. That's where I was living at the time. And the
Hmm.
dude was like, "Oh, I didn't realize you were going to Arlington." He's like, "Can I just drop you off here and you call another Uber?" And I was like, I was like, "You just drove me away 3 blocks
Nice.
from the event. Like, no, it's fucking dark out here." And he was like, "Yeah, it's just that I'm gonna waste a lot." I'm like, "I'm sorry, you gotta take me out there, dude. And I have tequila in my system, so I might not be as nice to ask you a third time."
Yeah. Did he take you?
Yeah, he did, but he was pissed the whole
Nice.
time. I think that's why my Uber ratings like lower.
He gave you a 0.
Probably. It's okay. I gave him one too. Fucking asshole.
Nice. That's hilarious.
Hey, I did Uber for a while too. I have to pay bills.
Yeah.
I have law school to pay for. Like I understand sometimes you get far trips, but you accepted the fucking trip, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Um
Sometimes Uber drivers are special.
for real, man. And then I had some other ones that would drive like, I mean, you're in Texas, your speed limit doesn't fucking matter, but he was driving like 30 miles an hour. I was like, "Dude, I'm going all the way to Arlington. I mean, all the way to Dallas. Like, please hurry up. We're already an hour away."
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, needless to say, my adventure with my first fight to win was awesome. Getting to experiencing the actual event and then leaving the event, it was just everything was like fucking badass. But it was a nice way to get back to Texas. Um,
Yeah.
so what are you looking forward to now? Now that you have your first few events, let me ask you this: after seeing that UFC be like the first sport back after the whole Corona thing, and
Mhm.
you guys essentially are the first ones back for Jiu Jitsu, but the
Right.
second
Well,
in sports, you know. So how does that feel like watching them get through that? Did that help you guys at
um,
all?
actually, what we started watching, the first thing that we started watching when this whole thing happened was WWE, because they continued to put on events. And so we started watching that, and we started strategizing um, what we could do. And then we started working with our venues and things like that to come up with a plan. So WWE was first. My buddy Mitch Shamal put on an MMA event in Jacksonville. After that, I believe it was in Jacksonville, it was somewhere in Florida. And then the UFC did their first event. So it's a very similar format across the board where it's a closed arena, and it's just the same matches continue, and it's the same type of format. But Submission Underground has had a couple events. I don't watch anybody else's jiu-jitsu events, so I don't know how it went. But yeah, they did 2 events somewhere. I don't know where, but we're going to go ahead and start in Dallas. So we're not the first. We're just doing it a little bit differently, and we're bringing we're bringing production with us. So we're not just going to have silence. We're going to have the lights and the music, the walkouts, everything like that's going to be the same.
That's gonna be interesting to see how that feels. The difference between that.
Yeah, for sure.
So and I think we touched on this at the beginning, but um, this is the reason why you're doing 2-day events, correct? You're splitting up the groups.
Yeah. And with that, you get bigger main events. So you get 2 different main, you get a lot of very high level matches on the main card.
And
Plus all the local talent that we always bring.
correct. So I know that you were gonna have the last event that get canceled. Are some of those guys on these cards?
Some of them are, some of them are not. It was pretty tough because I was already in Dallas when the event got canceled. I drove from Houston to Dallas, so I was there waiting to pick everybody up at the airport, and it got canceled on the day that everybody was flying. It was just a huge disaster. It was really, really hard.
But you guys were able to pick it back up, so that's all that matters now. Moving forward, um, Anything in particular you're looking forward to as far as like the actual show now? Are you excited to be back
Um,
out there?
I'm really excited to just see everybody again. I'm really excited to start traveling again. Um, Everything, I just getting everybody a chance to compete and get back to a little bit of something that's normal to them. That's really what I'm looking forward to. Just not thinking about the situation, and let's just do some jujitsu and have fun.
Yes. That's how I felt yesterday watching those fights, man. It felt so good, like just back to normal. And now I'm ready for these jiu-jitsu fights, man. Let's get it.
Yeah,
Um
100%. Like
mhm.
I'm ready to see everybody perform. I know everybody's ready to get back after it.
All right. Well, this is usually where I open up the floor for you to say anything, plug anybody in, shout outs, FUs, whatever you want.
um I really don't know what to say about that, but I just, really appreciative towards Seth for taking care of us through the whole, quarantine situation and really pushing hard to get the business moving again. We worked really hard to get this going, and I know it's not going to be exactly the same, but I hope that everybody enjoys it and gets a little bit of a sense of normalcy out of it.
Yeah, totally. Big shout out to the big man Seth Daniels. Um, I know he continued to take care of his employees and take care of everybody around him, and even taking the loss with everything that's happened. So, man, you guys got a great team out there. You and him make a great example of what teamwork should be like, especially when running a
Yeah.
company. So, big kudos to both of you, and big kudos to Seth for being such a badass on that too. Don't forget on Flow Grapple. See that's a Mexican in me, and I'm not even drinking. I had coffee. Flow Grapple, Flow Grapple.
Nice.
139 May 15th and 16th, May 22nd and 23rd, May 29th and
Yes,
30th, and then in Austin, and then you're moving to Denver June 5th and 6th, and then the dates
Yes,
continue
correct.
from there. LA and
Yes,
Philly.
ma'am. Yes.
Cool shit. Well, thank you so much, Missy, for being on the show, and man, I look forward to someday being on that stage and showing you a show.
I do too. I hope that too, and I hope we can do this again when you have a bottle of wine in your hand.
Right? Yeah, definitely. We should do it live next
All right.
time, and we'll just people can hear us clanging our glasses.
I'm down.
I don't do wine anymore. I do tequila, so you just gotta do some tequila with me.
No, that's a little too much for me.
All right. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.